guys are posting on, right? Announcement. Yeah, no end. So those who did not start the business lab, post it under, we did not start yet. I'm going to check now because you will not find time to finish it all. So I mean, we should start by now at least. Okay. All right. Today's topic. Let me see if that online student has joined. I don't understand why that person is not joining. Dulipala, can you tell her to join online? Is he there? Yeah, tell her to join online. I mean, she asked for the online class, but she's not ready to join. I don't know. Okay. So today we are discussing about. Um, these are the few topics that we are discussing about. We'll talk about layer three. So far we did three layers, right? Layer three, layer two, layer one, right? What are the topics we learned for layer one? Talk this physical medium, right? Like transmission medium, 802.11 wireless, right? And 802.3 for wired, correct? Layer two, we discussed about MAC address, right? And physical address. Whereas layer three, we discussed about the IP address, example devices, um, router, right? Example switch, can be a network switch, can be a hub. They're all layer two. So today we are going to talk about WAN, eigrp routing. Okay, and one more new topic I'm going to introduce in. So before I go further deep, I just make sure. Yeah, the person did not join yet. So okay, WAN eigrp routing. Uh, On the layer 2, we will be talking about another new technology. Remember, 802.1q trunking. Okay. And we will also discuss about layer 2 VLAN and layer 3 VLAN. Okay. So there are two types of VLAN. Layer 3 that operates on the layer 3, obviously, and the layer 2. So what could be the difference between layer 2 VLAN and layer 3 VLAN? Basically, layer 2 VLAN is a MAC address table, and layer 3 uses IP address, path tables, and we will also discuss what's a VLAN. Okay, it's very similar to SSID that we created on the wireless LAN. Okay, um, so basically VLAN and SSID, they are same in different walls in their own walls, respectively. So typically by this time we should have done wireless like this student. So this student went ahead and created three LA. Okay, so he wants to make sure he also configured wireless controller. So even though if you have not configured it, we're on the middle, there is a discussion post open for you to ask me question. While posting the question in the discussion post, make sure you don't simply say I tried it did not work. You need to mention the fact what are the troubleshooting steps you did. how much effort, how much time you implemented for each stage of this lab. And you need to absolutely present the show commands, which if you have not used show commands, that means you did not really try understanding the setup. You're just submitting for the sake of participation. Okay, that will not help you, despite the fact I provided you the guide and everything. So we will proceed with the layer 3 lab today. So again, these are the topics we are working on today. This needs to go into your running notes, and I only seen 5 people writing the running notes for what we have on the board. So I'm observing, especially the students in the last, they are not taking the notes at all. Okay. So before I start the um, this 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 section, I request all of you go into the module 5. The module 5. I'm not sharing on the board, but you all know where to go. There's the final project milestone 3. There's the final project milestone 3 on your module 5, right? So you need to download this lab guide, this one. Okay. You guys all know when this is due, right? This is due on October 19th. Hold on a second. Is it October 19th? Okay. So October 19th is Thursday. Okay. Um, so basically everything is due by October 19th, including the project document, final document. So for example, we had a mock test, right? Like real test in the last module. If you guys are showing the same progress with interface down, DHCP not working, you will lose more points considerably. You know that, right? I explained it on the board, like how much grade value the final exam and the final lab submission is, right? It's 40 points combined. So the lab submission grade will be purely on how you answer the lab viva questions, oral exam. So I will pretty much ask you guys whatever I'm showing on the screen. So IP subnet, IP address, and IP subnetting, IP address, and these topics. Okay. So those who are having bad grades, please work on it. Okay. And in the module 6, make sure you all participate because participation gives you 17 points. That is equal to almost 4 assignments, right? 17 points will bump your grade. Okay, so how many have participated in the announcements? Let's see. Okay, there are 3 people. So 3 people pasted. Okay. See, one of the questions says I'm not able to reach after staging. That is because the WLC is in 10 dot network and your PC is in 198 dot X network. Yeah. So Sri Harsha is not joining. It's been open for 8 minutes, 10 minutes now. So not sure. Okay, she joined finally. So yeah, so you need to participate in the announcement showing the progress of your wireless lab. Okay, I've shared you the recording. You participated online, right? You need to uh, participate in the announcement. Okay, so all of you downloaded the lab for the final module, final lab module. Okay, thank you. Let me see. The students are asking questions in the announcement. Okay, and only three people have asked the questions under announcement. One, two, three. How else I can help you? If you all run it like 5 minutes before it's due, I cannot help you, right? So post your questions here. So this I will also verify. I mean, yeah, you guys know, right? You might be taking help from somebody and submitting labs. It doesn't matter. How you answer the questions and how you understand the topology matter. So everybody, when I ask how did your DHCP work, they're taking me to the DHCP server and showing. They're not even explaining. It's like you need to understand the setup topology. Exam is about how much you understand the topology. The grading for the lab is for you submitting, not for the exam. You cannot simply say I did work on it and this is how I did. You need to explain it technically. So you're able to re-explain the technology is what you have to perform in the exam. So you need to represent the technical aspects of your lab. Following, right? You cannot simply uh, don't say anything and take your laptop and show me navigating. It's like a sign language. Students are using sign language to answer technical questions. That is not exam, right? So you need to be able to explain. So keep that in mind for the final lab exam. Okay, please. All right. So Sriya, you're muted. Do you follow what I just said? You need to participate in announcement, explain status of the current lag progress, technical troubleshooting step summary. Otherwise, I will not give your work. Okay. All right. Okay. So what we are trying to do is now today is this entire network that you see on the left side. Okay. This entire network, right, is uh, 10 dot. Come on, give it 14 dot 21.0/24. This is network A. Okay. So let us say this is network A, Revere campus. Okay. Let us assume. Okay. Now we are creating a new network. Say for example, we are creating another network here. Uh, Let me try another diagram, another region here. Okay. So we are creating, say, like for example, let us say we are creating another network here. Okay. Let us call this network as uh, we can give it a network B. Okay. So let's call this slogan. You guys give your own name, but network B should be the topic. Okay. I'm calling it slogan just for the class demonstration. So within network B, I'm creating multiple subnetworks. Okay. Within network B, I'm creating um, multiple networks. Um, like for example, say in Logan is a huge airport, right? So I want to create multiple networks. So for example, one is there are a lot of devices. So I need to manage devices. So I'm creating management network. Okay. And I'm also creating, say, international terminal network. Okay. Domestic network, domestic arrivals, whatever network. Okay. So you guys remember I'm recording. So this is being recorded. I will share you the recording of the screen. So you guys can log in and verify if the recording is going through. Let me send the recording. Let me share the recording. So Shweta, you can see if it's working, the recording. It should work. Okay, so where we are. So here we only have 10.41.21 net. So here I'm creating multiple. So quiz question for you. If I given you a task of creating management, what subnet? Only one, only one host is required. This is which subnet? Ma class 31 or 32, right? Class 31 or 32. So why we need management? If you have like 200 devices to manage, but my devices also need management ID. Okay. So in this chapter, we are also discussing about layer VLAN and layer 3 VLAN. So we configured layer 2 VLAN on a layer 2 switch, right? Use a MAC. Now for layer 3 VLAN, we need a layer 3 switch, right? So layer 3 switch operates at both layer 2 level, and so we can configure VLAN both layers and okay? And obviously you need routers for WAN and gateway, right? Gateway. So router is for gateway to your end. So let me drag that. So basically we are configuring another network, but remember, instead of configuring a network within the router, selected another router. Okay. So basically we are going to repeat the configuration we have implemented on this router. Let me switch router. See, I repeated 29.1. You can pick 29.1. 29.1. Doesn't matter. You know what? Keep it simple. 29.1. Let me drag it here. And I need to grab a layer 3 switch. Okay. So go here, network devices. I drag it around. This router switches. So I need a 3650, 24 ports. You guys see that? I grab a new layer device. Okay. It is a 3650, 24 port switch. Shweta, are you able to see? Did you guys, whoever joined, Pabola, you are able to see the screen, right? So let me double click the CLI. Can you see the CLI on the Zoom?
Yes, sir.
because the last recording here I was no one told me. Just want to make sure the recording is going properly. Okay. So guys, why we are calling router a WAN router? We are calling this WAN router, and this is also a WAN router. You know when we connect. To, how far is Logan from? There are at least 50 miles. So I'm basically connect 0, 1, 0. Okay. So what happens is some students connect 0, 1, 6, 0, 0 and then configure 0, 1. So don't follow the guide. Guide is for students for apps. Guide is extra class, not that where you are like text on WhatsApp, not able to follow guide. You have not paid attention. So this is a WAN router. What is WAN? It is connecting to following right. Your left is what? Network A. On your right is what? Network B, Logan A. Right? Look at look here. I connected two routers using crossover Ethernet. It's also layer one. Okay. Now anybody can answer why the LED status going down. So just from what will you do LED is down? What will you do on the by this time no command why is that low? Why is that down? What you will do on the yeah, if you guys cannot answer exam, you get minus because this is the base. You guys following right? This is basic. Trying to explain layer one layer basic. I'm not asking you to troubleshoot POP3 or SNMP service by creating a different email server. I'm not making mask very basic. If you fail to answer that, you guys definitely not score. This is 10th time we are doing it. We know this is our in disabled state, right? We need to do no shut on the. So which mode I need to go? So this is what the students directly go to conf instead of going to enable. They lose point. That means they're not the lab and conf. So what was the interface that we are trying to enable? I don't know, right? So I'll go back. Yeah, gig 01. See how I use the help of cursor? Gig 01, no start. So if you guys not explain me this in the next exam, final exam, yeah, yeah, you're not paying. And please, you cannot just argue saying I did on the lab, so give me no. This is an exam. It has nothing to do with the lab work. Interface gig 0 by 1. See, I did a mistake. Why did why take it? Now you have to tell me. Yeah, we need to go to the. These are the two primitive things that you might know, should know and understand. No shut. And I'm doing right map. Why I'm doing right map? So this is also will be another question, guys. How do you save your configuration? Right map. How do you verify your running configuration? So space run. Hit enter. That's how I verify. See, my router is configured. My interface gig 0 is configured. 01 is okay. Now I need to connect my router to the layer 3 switch. You see multi-layers. We haven't configured anything. So I'm using gig 00, connect fast. You know what? I will use gig 01. gig 01. All right. See, our network is expanding, right? Now the same question. So can be anybody, right? So how do you, what should I need to, why this down? Why this link is down? Both are down. Because interface is not enabled. So on the switch, go to enable on. So this is the funny thing. The layer by the final exam, students will try to log into layer 2 and you need to understand layer 2 layer which we do not because it's a hub. It simply forwards MAC address. It is like store and forward. Just following right. But layer 3 switch is not a simple layer. Layer 3 doesn't just store and forward. Additionally, will also do IP-ARP and layer 3 routing. Okay. So that is why we are configuring layer switch for the first time. In other words, you are configuring your first ever switch. You never configured switch before this. So don't get confused. That is one of the mistakes most students do. Now you can see it green on one end, other end also be enabled. So what is the next command? Where should I go? Conf interface gig 0 by. Make sure you are doing no shut on the right interface. Okay. Proceed. Enable. So what we did here is what we did here is we connected a multi-layer with the router 2. Remember why we have to come up with setup is we are creating more than one network. Here there is only one network. Network B Logan Airport is huge. So we have to create multiple networks. Okay. So first network that I have come up, guys, look into the guide. Guide explains here what are the sorry different networks. So I'm going to write it down. Those two networks are some for international terminal. We are creating VLAN. That is the network name. That's the VLAN. I will explain you what the VLAN is. Four. Now the VLAN here is of VLAN 30 that I selected tab. Now the question is VLAN to which class does it belong? Again, final lab question. Which class does this IP network? So Josna, what this network belongs to VLAN 30? Which class? Class A. 10.168.30 is class. Guys need to able to differentiate between class A and class B by now. Okay? So that's again minus 5. So out of 30 you already lost 10. There will be only 4 and I will discuss that question. I am already discussed. I cannot do better. I cannot do worse. Right? Okay. You already know the exam. All right. So the next question is so VLAN is a new concept. I need to explain what. So there is another concept that you need to understand, which is what I call it WAN. W. So we are going to create a WAN link has. Okay. So what we are creating, how you create a WAN link? WAN link is nothing but a point to point from here to here. Okay. So WAN link is a point network. There are several WAN. If you go into the real world, MPN, MPLS, VPN, these are all VPN. Uh, we have BGP here. That's one way of WAN. Now the latest SD-WAN software. It uses broadband on the top of it. It's very cheap to implement. So if you're hired as a network, if they ask you to design, suggest your client that the cost of maintenance for the WAN circuit is cheaper as you use broadband, okay, broadband network. Of course, you can also use DRM. That's the concept beyond class. I'm just giving an example. WAN link is nothing but the WAN router, right? Here is one WAN router. Earlier, it is only a router. Now it become WAN router. Why? Because it's connected to another router. Okay. So how do I make this WAN reach out? Okay. So the first step you need to configure the, this interface. Okay. Let us assume the triangle. So gig 0101 need to configure that with layer 3. So when I say layer 3, will you choose the MAC address? So let us configure an IP address. So our interface is so. So I do know such million because it's my OC. I never know if so. Make sure you know do no shut on it. So before I add IP address, I need to ask you a question. Okay. So let me go to the whiteboard again. Okay. So I have 2 points. A point A, point B. Okay. So I only need IP address. I only need 2 IP address. So with subnet mask, I only need 2 hosts. With subnet mask, so if you are in doubt, this is what I will do. So I know you guys are not experts. So IP sub table. Okay. You can do always if you're new. All right. So we are here. We are on the table. Okay. How many hosts did I say? So what is the subnet mask you can select? Class 31 or what is the subnet mask? Class 30 and 255.252. I only need 2 hosts. Why? Because I am connecting point A to point following, right? So when I was actually subnetting mask, I know you guys did well, module 3 and module 4. So when I was student like so I simply took a printout of this, kept it for you guys following. You can bring a printout of subnet uh, table like this, but don't write it following, just the okay. So what's the subnet mask? Select dash 30, 30, which is roughly translates to 252. So how many ones are there? There are 30, right? That's how the subnet. So I need a IP address. Okay. Remember, guys, the WAN links are always public, public IP. Okay. WAN link, how to resolve So I am picking the public subnet 91.0.30. Okay. Which class is again? Anybody? Julipala, which class should be able to? So again, how do you tell it? Class A, class B, class. Yeah. So yeah. IP class subnet. See here. Google. Class A. Did not print out properly. Not okay. Where the Wikipedia has really you can print this out. There you go. Class A. So 0 to 120. Class 128 to 120. Class C 192 to 220. Right? So the address I picked is 91.1.30. Which class? If it is 129, again you guys know the difference between private and I don't have to teach it again. So you must make sure public IP, not only class A but public. If you select 10 dot something like that, it's private. You cannot do a ban public facing get following. It will be a big blunder. It's not all right. So I'm configuring. So I don't know, right? So I'm looking at this word pad, IP address 91 dot. So I need to configure the first host. What is the first host? Dot one, right? What is the first host? One. 255 dot no shut again. See how many times just my host. You guys have to do that too. So what is the other side? What is the next host? So on the router two. Oh no, I configured on the router. Well, that's fine. I mean, I configured I took router two as route A side. There is no harm in it. So I will go with router one. I configured as a B side. It's not going to create it. So conf t interface gig which interface? I don't know. Zero one. Zero one. So give me what is the second IP address that sub? What is second IP address? First IP address 9.1. So Srihasa, you're online, right? What is the second IP address that sub? So, Srihasa, what's the second IP? Okay, we can't hear.
90. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir.
Can you speak again?
Hello,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Can you hear me?
What's the second IP address?
91.
Were you able to hear me so far, right? You were able.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. But it is very slow.
What's the second IP address?
Sometimes it is getting connecting and
Yeah. What's the second IP address? So this is going to be your lab exam question. What's the next IP address? I don't have time. Dot. So you're expected to answer same exam. So 91 dot Q. What's the subnet? Right dot. Now, now I created a WAN. Look at here. Look at the bigger picture. So two are not only layer one connected, they are now connected by layer three. You guys following, right? We configured a layer three connection here. By how? By putting them both in the same network. You guys following, right? So this side, I, I draw a line. This side, so this between this line, there is a net. You guys agree, right? Save. Make sure you save it. Come to me saying I did accidentally last time. I save it. So see the subnet mask is wrong. Tell me. So this is a WAN link. It's a layer 3 WAN link, right?
Mm.
Why it's layer 3? I'm a layer 3 IP network. So this both belongs to a 91.1.10.0/. You guys following, right? This entire circle on the left A, which is what? 10 dot whatever. On the right side, we are yet to create this network. Okay, management network. I have not provided the IP. International terminal network. I have not provided it. I have not configured it. So these are all different networks. You guys following, right? It's like different departments. Now I created a WAN network so that previous students can reach the Logan WAN network. First, now I'm logging into the WAN route. Okay, what's the next step? Is to understand the concept of creating the layer three, concept of creating the layer three interfaces and trunking them. Let me take. So I have to do this on the paint, guys, because students are attending class online. So I can't use the board. Guys, observe very closely. Very important. Now let's say there is a school. Within the school, there are, let us assume there are this is a school. There are and unfortunately this segregated. Like not all rooms are allowed in the school. And the commands for the school comes from principal. So let us consider this as a principal. So let us consider principal. The principal sends the command. So let us color code it, okay? So this is red. Let us send green, okay? There is a red green connection. That's following, right? Ah, my bad. Bear with me. There's a red there, green. Ah, my bad. Okay. Now let us segregate this school into, so everything that's green, say only girls are allowed in class, okay? And everything that's red, only boys. And the black is where management for teachers, they're allowed to any following. Okay. So what is there is an So let us say we name all the red group VLAN 10 for the sake of, okay, and everything that's green VLAN 20. Let us, okay. So the boys, red team is VLAN 10, green team is 20. So basically, the red team only broadcasts the VLAN 10 IP address on VLAN 20 IP address, whereas VLAN red is just considered. So how do you do that? So how do you do that? So this is done at two stages. So how do you segregate the edge? How do you segregate? How do you segregate the red? Only red team all the time, VLAN 10, and the green team, green IP address. The first thing is the main off or the principal room decides which IP address be assigned to VLAN 10, which IP address should be assigned to VLAN. That is our layer 3. Okay. So all the IP addresses are assigned here, not at the classroom level. They are assigned at which level? Router level, or instead principal of. So here we assign layer 3 gate. You guys following so far, right? So here is where we are. From here, how do you transfer the IP address information broadcast to each classroom? How do you do that? You do that by a concept called trunk 802.q. Now, what is this trunk? Between the office room and between the classroom, you see there are connections running. The trunking is a layer 2 protocol. Remember, trunking is a layer 2 protocol that connects two different two different network devices using 802.2 protocol, and it is used to tag VLAN transmitting across one network device. So basically, you use layer 2 VLANs, layer 2 trunk to transfer the IP address. Then you can ask me, well, you're telling me it's a layer 2 trunk, the layer 2 connection. Then how does the IP address forward through? Well, the IP address forwards between two layer 3 VLANs. So again, we are discussing two different concepts. We have to create layer 3 VLAN here, okay? And we will create a VLAN layer 3 VLAN interface here. Remember how the two interface on the LAN were creating? So we can configure layer interface on a whole for the entire school one time. And we configure layer 3 VLAN gateway on the router. But to assign the properties of VLAN to each classroom, we use layer 2 VLAN. They they use what? Whereas layer 3 interface or layer 3 VLAN uses what? IP or, right? So this is how you segregate IP broadcast. So the concept is called VLAN. VLAN stands for virtual. So basically you're creating a virtual LAN, a LAN within a LAN. Just following, right? This is a combination of layer 3 and how do you make setup work? By configuring a trunk between the router layer or layer switcher. Cases you can actually, for example, if you want a bigger network, you can consider let us say, another school here. Say there is a small nursery, okay? And this time you don't have to consider layer 3 on. You don't have to consider layer. All you have to do is consider a layer trunk to this layer, and you can still access VLAN from. Let us assume this is layer. Whereas to your left, layer 3, which operates at both layer 2 and layer 3. You guys following, right? So basically, this is all the concept of VLAN. This individual block represents layer to VLAN access port, which means you can configure VLAN 10 when you are red, VLAN 20. You're, okay. So you can ask me what is the trunk? Like I already explained you in brief detail what the. Okay. Does anyone remember like olden days how to call from US? Yeah, not direct. You need to make a trunk. You guys probably had the. So trunk call is basically you're calling fast. You need to call New York first, and New York telephone exchange, London telephone, and London telephone connect to somewhere, I believe in Turkey or somewhere in Rangoon, Burma. So from Burma, you have to call telephone exchange, Chennai or Madras. You guys following, right? That's a trunk. So telephone operator has to call each other. Each trunk call used to cost 10 to 20 every minute. Back in 30 years, you guys following. Because at the time, optical communication was not in place, satellite communication, satellite telephony were not widely popular or it's expensive. So basically, telephone line is the concept of trunking. So basically, that is what you are doing, trunking from here to here, from here to here. You guys following, right? Just operates the same trunk. If you have a habit of watching, the person will call the telephone operator and say, I need a trunk call. That's how they used to call. So we have to configure this links as not only as not just layer 3 or layer, as a layer 2 trunk. So far you only layer, layer 2 link, but not layer 2 trunk. So we will configure. Okay. So going to adapting this concept to your network, you go to the gateway route. Okay. Again, you need to go to which mode to config mode. So keep this bigger picture in the back of. So I need to configure what layer VLAN and trunking, right? See, I have to configure trunking on the end. So I go here and I need to pick the interface. Okay. So which interface I need to pick? So this interface connects multi-link switch, right? I go to this packet. What is the interface? Gig 0 by 0. So I need to configure 0 by 0. Guide says gig 0 by 1. If you pick gig 0 by 0 interface, configure gig 0. If you're picking 0 by 1, you configure gig 0 by 1. You need to ask any troubleshooting question. Now, after the announcement, you cannot show up on the exam and say in module 7, oh, sorry, sir, I mistakenly 0. I will confirm. Too late, the exam. You lose point. You cannot finish your final lab module 12 p.m. before the night and submit. You won't get any point. You have to say, explain it, present, defend the final module. So you cannot say, okay, we have lab before the exam. So I'm calling you, meet you at your place. Let's start 11 p.m. I don't know how this works. Your friend explained everything. You cannot just show me I did for this. You won't get 30 points lab you're uploading. You get 30 points for how you answer the question. You guys, you have to absolutely understand the 18th time. Okay. All right. So the interface that I selected is gig 0 by 0. Already in config mode. Okay. So on the interface 0 by 0, I'm creating a sub interface. Okay, I am calling it as manage. So again, coming back here, creating a management, calling it VLAN 2. VLAN 2. I'm configuring it again on the router, office room. So router is our office. Okay. So remember, I mentioned this interface bit trunk. It needs to be encapsulated in the protocol. So encapsulated, we use .1q protocol. We are tagging the traffic VLAN 2. This is a new command here. Now, what is encapsulation? You all take, you all, most of you might have. The capsule pill will have medicine in it, right? Just peel it open. There will be a medicine. That caps, the same way we are encapsulating all the VLAN traffic using a protocol called .1q. Okay, every VLAN needs a IP address, right? What's the layer? So the layer 3 address I picked for VLAN 2 is 168.4. Again, who will tell me which private address? 172.1. Which class private IP address? So I'm picking the first IP address, which is gateway. What will be the gateway of any that starts with .0, .1? Class 24 is class 0. Did it so many times. What I'm going to do now? Notion. Always do notion. Okay. Next interface. Next gig 0 by 0. Remember, we have international VLAN, international terminal network VLAN, and domestic private network. Gig 0 by 0, 20. Or in other words, you can call it girls network, boys network. So think like that. In the school, .20 is like boys network, .30 girls network, whatever it is. Again, encapsulation dot q. The tag we are using for the VLAN 20 is VLAN. Why should we use another tag? Okay, what's the gateway for 190.168.20. What could be the gate IP address? So Sriyasa, can you tell me what's gateway address? 190.168. You need to mute, unmute. 30 dot, sorry, 20 dot. Sriyasa, you're not talking.
Yes, sir.
What's the gateway for this network?
From this one. 0.
No, .1.
Yes, nice.
If you answer the same for the final exam, get. So you need to work on. You need to tell by now. So interface gig. I will ask basic. So we created VLAN 20.1. So the next one is interface gig 0 by 30 domestic net. You can call it voice network or calls, or you can come up with your own name. So again, we are to encapsulation protocol. We use dot the subnet address. So tell me if it is the gateway of. So if I tell you that the network address is this here, let us say 10.68.30.0. What is the gate?
Gateway address, sir.
One, yeah, what's the gate? 30 dot. Okay. I just explained it. Need to pay attention. Pay dot 0.
Sir, 1 7 repeat, sir.
Okay. So how do I verify it? So I interface. Okay. So did I create all the three VLANs? VLAN 2, VLAN 20. I not only created it, I also trunked it. So you can ask me, how can I verify if it's trunk? I can verify with so IP interface command that IP address is word. Status is up, protocol is. Make sure they both have. How do I make sure it's configured as trunk? Show interface trunk. So if you do show interface trunk, it should show up. Now, can anyone tell me why it's not showing up the trunk by keeping this as a reference trunk link, and also keeping image as trunk link? We configured on this end, right? We configure on other end, no, right? So how will it even trunk? You call trunk call from this end, but the receiver on the other end is not phone call. He's not even created phone call. So how will this even work? So that is the show command you to verify what working or not. Following, right? So the configure interface, configure trunk, right? So what I do is following, right? So what is the next step? Creating late. So there's one more I'm creating here. Host name, Logan. You can create your own. Don't have to depend. Creating host names very easy. That's the command showed you for the store on command creating. See, I'm giving away all the exam questions. Not I've not seen one person write. Don't say that I did. Conf T, which host name I'm giving host name. There. Right? So I'm confident, let's what's the special about this for your class? This is the first ever time you are studying for this. The thing about layer 3 configure IP address as well as MAC address. I mean MAC address don't come. So you will verify both MAC address table and IPR. Okay. So first thing is I'm going to create layer. So how do I create layer 2 VLAN? Layer 2 VLAN, remember guys, have doesn't need to have IP address, just name and VLAN. VLAN name manage underscore VLAN 20 name. What is the name we gave? International term. VLAN 30 name. So much right. Okay. So how do I verify if I created? So VLAN see our VLANs are okay. They're layer 2 or layer 2 because there is no IP address. Whereas on the router, if I do show IP interface B, see the sub interfaces VLAN 2, 20, 30, they all have IP address. Layer 3 VLAN is configured. Following, right? So the interface on the side A of the VLAN, right? So what I do is I also configure on the remember here configured point 8 point public IP on one side 91 dot B side 1 dot right. The same way VLAN 2, VLAN 20, VLAN 30. We need to configure the layer 3 switch side. What is the layer 3 router side we configure? On the router side, we already configured this interface, right? Dot one. So what will be the IP address you can pick on the layer 3 switch side? interface VLAN. So Sriyasa, what is the next IP address for management? So we picked dot one Sriyasa for the side A, the router. We are creating another layer that layer. What will be the next IP address
So
after dot
172.168 1 dot slash 0/24.
one? Dot. We pick the next
So
IP address. We have the guide open. Keep your guide open. So you need to brush up your subnet IP because we have exam.
next type, next six.
No, its exam is due class. Another market. Okay.
The
Next
voice no
VLAN.
clarity.
So VLAN 20. We already so VLAN 20. What's the IP address for VLAN? So anybody in the class 19.20.2 interface VLAN 30 IP at 10.8.30.2. The other side, right? B side of it. Now I will have a question. You configured A side, B side. Will it ping each other? Will those two ping each other? Let's ping the B side. 9.20.1. It's not pinging, right? So we configured layer 3 on this side, configured layer 3 interface IP address this side. But what we are missing on this trunking, configure trunking on the side A but B, right? You have to configure trunking. You only configure trunking this, right? So let's configure that. So what is the interface? Show CDP neighbor. If I do show CDP neighbor, gig01 is my CDP stands for code discovery. You don't have to understand. So this protocol is this show command is basically to identify what's connected to show space neighbor. Following, right? So show run interface gig 0 by show run. Let's see the gig interface. See, nothing is configured on it. Just following. So my gig 0 by 1 needs to be configured where to config space gig 0 by 1 code. Code command interface dot which code mode. What is the encapsulation method we use? What is the encapsulation method used on slide 802. We have to use the same dot, okay, switch port trunk load VLAN. Right. If I do show interface trunk, there's nothing here. So I configured VLAN. I configured trunk, configured switch port trunk encapsulation on 0 1. But why it's not working? Because again you have to configure switch port mode trunk. It's saying VLAN says stop, stop, straight up, straight up, straight up. Okay. Show IP interface. See here, protocol is up, everything. Both should be up. Kick interface 0. Both should be up. Show interface trunk. Now it's what? Because earlier it did not take the trunking command. So you have to Make sure. Now, see here, it's saying that it's allowed, but it's not being forwarded. So I need to go to the router A, in WAN router, see whether it's trunk. See, not being forwarded. Configure trunk encapsulation. Very good. Configure this interface as well. Show CDP 0 by 0. Another one is 1. But it's still not trunking. The VLANs are not forwarded. That's why. Because there is no communication happening between VLANs. You're following, right? Trunk call is not established even though the phone lines are available because people are not making phone calls. You cannot make phone call otherwise you can establish a session. Here our layer 3 traffic is not passing. Unless if our voice is passing, how can you make a phone call, right? So what you need to do troubleshoot here is show interface. You see now it's falling. You need to have the layer convert. Layer now should establish it. Still not free. Show interface 0 by 1 status. Let's see encapsulation. Media is RJ45. So I'm able to see the trunk. Okay. So the moment don't forget to write. So the moment you configure layer 3 gateway from here starts. What I mean to say that this room has default gateway. Take the door as exit. Right? There are so many on the layer 3 switch. You have management. So you have management IP address. You have VLAN 2, VLAN 3. You have layer 2 trunk established. But why you are not able to ping the gate? Why I'm not able to get? Because now I'm able to, without a default. So there is no default route, but I'm still able to get because the layer 3 link is established. But one thing you guys need to understand is show IP route needs to be empty. That let us see if be able to communicate on ping 192.1 pinging. Good. So default self pinging. No, we pinged our own interface, not the dot one. So let's ping the interface. That's interesting. That's the wrong IP. So ping 190.160.20.1. Can you ping the gateway side A? Can ping it. This is how you troubleshoot. I'm not completely building the configuration and then troubleshooting. Not one dot. Can I ping the other side? Yes. So without configuring default gate, I'm able to establish communication. But in the real world, you should configure default gateway. Okay. So I will leave the default gateway concept to later on. So for now, we have layered communication established for each VLAN, okay? For management as well as for layered VLAN 20 and VLAN 30, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm assigning a, okay? I'm assigning, so these two PCs, I'm assigning for each network. So let us connect to some fast network, that's fine. Uh, I'm connecting this PC to fast Ethernet 2, okay? So what I'm doing here right now is I am segregating class. Remember, look at this diagram. We have green and red class. So let us call this guy a host that belongs to VLAN. So this guy, so this is international. Okay, you need to mute yourself. Okay. And this is international terminal, and this PC belongs to domestic. So before this can get into the network, so how do I assign them to each class? So we know they are connected to the port F0, F01, and F02, right? So what I'm doing here is another concept here. How what we are doing? We are going port. We are converting into which port mode acts, and we are telling it you access VLAN. What's the VLAN for the international VLAN 20? No shut. Don't forget show VLAN. The VLAN 20 is the same fast internet. Now again I'm going to configure which port mode port access VLAN. Basically we are assigning green or red. Imagine it. Try to picture. Okay. So both of these hosts are in VLAN 20, but will they get IP address? Will they get IP address for VLAN 20? They will never, because there is no DH server in these two are static hosts. So we need to manually assign VLAN IP. So this is where the students get confused. They will assume that this will get DHCP host, but this is a different network. It is not your dot. This is your 192 net 192.168.20. What is the next IP address? So Sriyasa, you can tell me what's the next IP address? It gave one to gateway dot two the switch interface. Now what is the next static address? Already picked. So this is
Already,
dot three.
before already we gave solution.
So this guy 10.168 dot three. That's the next static, right? So this picks class A IP subnet mask. That's because 10 belongs to change. So what is the default gate? 10 dot 1. I'm adding the DNS server for the side A, network A. You can ask me how can it even reach the DNS server for network A? That is our next. So just bear with. What is the DNS server IP address? Dot 3. So it won't work now, but it will work later because there is configuration. So here we forgot gate. So if you forgot to gateway, how will it even come? We are configuring this host just like how we configure gets server, static gets DNS server. Yes, following. 10 dot 0 dot, right? So now, how do I test if I'm able to ping the gateway of the guy 192.68.20.1? Can I ping again? So we segregated the class. What we did is the IP packet created layer here and another layer here. Okay, and then we configured the links as trunk. Okay, and then we assigned static IP address to each class, girls room, boys. Now we verified if girls, boys can communicate with office. That's what it is. You guys understand, right? The network design here, layer and layer VLAN. So the same way, how do I test my domestic network PC? I go to command and ping 10 dot, what is the IP address? 168.30.1. I'm able to ping it, right? So very good, sir. I'm able to ping my net. Okay, I'm in the airport. You assign one VLAN. I'm domestic traveler. One VLAN, one IP address. I'm international traveler. You are Revere student. You are international. You arrived at international airport. You want to send an email to your OGR. Can you send email from here to your OGR? With the current setup, you cannot. You know why? Your packet goes from here, the switch. From switch, it goes to the trunk, and here it hits the layer 3 and it drops it. Why? Because beyond this network, router has no knowledge what lies behind this network. It's like a wall. You guys following, right? The network, this router knows is network and T network. Okay? The network, this router knows 10.14 their campus network and this WAN network. That's it. This network doesn't know these guys exist. This router doesn't know these guys exist. Following me, right? So we need to tell these two routers to exchange whatever connect. So to perform that action, there is a concept called layer 3 WAN routing protocol. Layer 3 WAN routing. Okay. Now again, go to the white control G control. What is here? What I was talking about. Layer EIGRP route, exterior interior gateway routing protocol. That is what it stands for. Interior gateway routing. So basically, it will tell whatever outside of me, whatever inside of. I'm exchanging every route information. Okay. How does two neighbors exchange gossip? Following what I'm saying. There are two neighbors, guys. You want to know what's happening on the neighbor that sits on the other side of your, and your neighbor is interested to know what happens on the other side of your. She can't hear the the home that is two hops away or one. So both the house owners, right? They will stand at the wall and they will exchange the gossip. By the end of the conversation, what happens? The entire colony knows each other. Following, right? So if you have like 20 different routers, they are connected to each other and they're all participating in the EIGRP protocol. All of them know what are the end hosts they are connected. Following, right? So that is in a colony. If everybody wants to know what's happening in their home, they all have to protocol and exchange their following, right? So you have WhatsApp group, they have WhatsApp. That WhatsApp group is so curious what's happening. WhatsApp. How will they know what's happening? WhatsApp group. There is one person that is common in both the groups, and he's forwarding from side to that side. Following, right? So the eigrp that person, and you have to configure in one router or both routers, both. So let's configure eigrp both the WAN. All right. Good thing is this is being recorded. So you have a guide and you also have the recording. You can go through and so which router I am? This is again confused. It says router 0 WAN router. So to do that, you can always change host name. Okay, conf t. Host name, Raghuveer, and router. Okay, right. Yes, following. So those who joined online, you can see this CLI, right? Because other class they said they were able to see everything, went home, only packet was CLI. They just were not paying. All right. Make sure you have can't hear me. Okay? Yes, you can't hear me. So Sriya, so can you read what you can see? Just want to make sure you're able to.
Yes, sir. Revere
Okay, pan route, right? You're able
with Revere one out.
to. So
No,
I am doing the
no.
EIGR ban configuration for both the route, right? Right, there, van router. Right. Logan Air. See that? To right number. Just Revere airport is on the right. Here is. So how do I configure EIGR? EIGR very late routing protocol. Okay. So basically, you will advertise the net. Basically, advertise the net are connected to it. So let me ask the router 0. What are the uh, networks that are connected? Going to quad dot again. Router 0. What are the networks that are connected? Router, sorry, peer route. Let's call it peer route. Control A. So Riviera router. Riviera router. What are the networks that it is connected? 10 dot, 14 dot, X dot 0. This is one network, right? And it is also connected to WAN network, right? 91 dot 1 dot 0 slash 30. 30. So Logan router, Logan Air, how many networks it has? It has 91.1.0 obvious. So before gossiping, how the conversation starts about the information, people talk to each other about the information they know, and then they talk about the information that each other. So what's the first network that is on router B? That router A doesn't 172.168.1.0, right? Right? What's the next router? VLAN 10 or VLAN, right? 68.20,
No, sir.
19, 10 dot 30 dot, right? These are the sub. So remember the fact uh, when we are talking about, again, So when we do EIGRP, so when we are configuring the network address on EIGRP, for example, 172.8.1.0 or 55.55. This is the network address, right? 170.168.1.0. This is how you configure it, right? On EIGRP, this is how we do inverse wild mask. So 172.8.0 subnet mask becomes 0.0.250. Basically, subnet mask you have to subtract every single octet 250. Okay, for example, if I ask next 1.55.55. How do you represent on EIGRP? How do you subtract? How does it show up? 0, 0.0. You're subtracting every octet. This becomes 0. 5 minus 5, 255 minus 0. 255 minus 255, 0. 252 minus 255, 3. This is how you represent. This is how you represent regular. But for EIGRP, you need to give it inverse. Otherwise, it won't understand. So whoever programmed EIGRP protocol, they programmed it such a way that it will be easy for them to convert the routes, advertise the routes, add the statements, inverse network. Or in other words, they call wild card. Okay? This is called wild. So you guys have so far learned about in EIGR use wild card. Following wild card. All right. So you guys now understand the wild card. There's another concept called auto summary. I will explain that after you digest. Con see. See guys, I'm confident both sides at the same time. Okay. Okay. Router EIGR. I'm issuing question. Router EIGR. So basically you can select any number between 1 to 65,530. Okay. So which number will you can select? I'm select 550. The, that is the course syllabus, right? 550. So make sure you always take that number on both sides. Okay. 553 on this side, 553 on the other side. Okay. So now I'm adding network table. Okay. So how do I add network table? So router A, previous router, most the networks again, these two, right? Okay. So how do I add that to? How do I add that to my EIGR table? See here, wildcard mode. Here, router. Okay. Network, given the network address, 81.1.1.0. Wildcard mask is 0.0.0. Well, we don't remember. What is 3? 3. Is it correct? So next one, network. We also have 10 dot 10 dot 14 dot 21. The 21 for this app. 21.0 0.0.0.255. Okay. No auto summary. I will explain what auto summary in a quick moment. Before we get to that auto summary concept, we need to finish config network here also. So what are the networks that are connected to the side B or Logan Air? Look here, these, right? So not only this, there's four WAN. Okay. So let's go to the router two. Network 1.1.0.0.0.0.3. Network. What is the next network? 1.2.168.
One
What
dot
is the 255 dot,
zero.
sorry, 0 dot
Okay.
2 dot 0 dot 255. See, just copy this format here. Next network. Network 170, sorry, 10 dot 1
68.
dot 30 dot 0
Zero. Zero dot
dot
zero dot two
55.
fifty.
Okay, network 192 dot 20 dot 0, right? No auto summary. Okay, right, ma'am. I do write all day long. And, okay. So what is the auto summary? So you're telling the router EHR, router EHRP. So I will see show IP EHR. So we are neighbors, right? So you see this command? My neighborship is established. Says 1 minute ago we became neighbors. Uptime is 1. So what is auto summary? Take example, you both are how you both are talking about it is Arun K. What the other person is talking every Arun, and the example he says Arun is dead. Other person will forward the information like every Arun call me. That is what auto. We are telling is that not auto summarize. What it does means if I don't auto summarize, you see the 10 dot network, 10.168, you have 10.168 and you have 10 dot 14 other. But here just assume right, every 10 dot network is this, not that. Following me, right? So you have to be very specific. If you 192 here and 192 there and you do auto summary, 192 rounds will drop this. Following me, right? Because it will assume that 192 is connected to this, even though it's not 192. Plus following, right? So you always have to do no auto summary. Otherwise, here you have to advertise entire class of the. For example, if they say IP class A 10 dot this side router 2, it will advertise every single IP address that belongs to class A. The following, right? It's a big accident. It's configured. Here is a very big network, and you don't do no auto summary. There will be a routing issue. Following, right? So never ever forget to do no auto. Okay? Otherwise, the routes will die. Okay. Now I need to know if eigrp is learning all the. If 10 dot 14 dot to router 1 or router, where is it connected? Where is the 10 dot previous? I issued a command for IP 10.168 network. Let's router Raghuveer router launch the okay. See what are the networks that router A launch? Launch 192.168 1W2. It also tells via this interface, gig interface 01, gig interface. What is the gig interface 01? On Raghuveer router, gig interface 01, what is there? You see this? Gig interface 01. It is telling all that information is coming from. So in a real world, this router will have 20 interfaces. We'll have one network connecting here, one network connecting here, one network connecting. It's very simple. There's only one interface. In a real world, when we get to network testing job, there will be 20 interfaces. How will you troubleshoot the code? Which router is connecting there? Following, right? Will not be able. So now from here, earlier I will not be able to ping my DHCP server. Now can I ping the DHCP server 10 dot? Remember the international student arrived and he wants to ping the DNS server in Raghuveer University at the airport. So he's pinging 10 dot 14 dot 21.3. First ping will drop. From second ping table, first always second converts. So a passenger, a newly arrived international student who has access to the PCR can reach the layer network Logan Airport. From there, he can go to the WAN router. There is KGR protocol. His packet went to WAN router. There it went to switch layer 2. And from there, he was able to the DNS. DNS recognized the IP address from the ARP table and the MAC address table on the switch. The IP address ping response comes back here. It goes to the WAN router. It goes to the router, the access port, and then back. The total time it took for the transmission of that, how much time did it take? How much time did it take? Uh, so the total time is 120. Less than no, sorry, less than 1 millisecond. So that's the default on the packet trace. But in the real world, you can actually calculate the latency. Following, right? What should I do? Save. Okay, you need to save. So you can also actually from here, right? Email. So for example, you can create a email server. Okay, you can create email server here, and you will be able to send email from here to say there is Yashwant PC and Harsha. You can create here saying Logan student. You can create email at what's the domain? I don't know what's domain. Created coming mail server. I don't know. Do you guys give IP address or Logan username? Cisco Captain. I don't know if what are the emails did you create? To Harsha net arrived at Logan. Okay. I don't think it will work, but we can give it a try. Because I need to do troubleshooting. I need to make sure the server and everything is connected. So sending mail, resolving email by querying to DNS server. I also need to create that accounts here, right? I did not create an account in the email server, so it's not able to find. So what is the username we created? Attributes, uh, Logan, password, Cisco 123. Okay. So now let's send. Okay, Harsha, I arrived again. Let's see. See what's calling DNS server, Raghuveer email.com. So let's go to the DNS. So what I can do is I can go to the IP information. Okay. So what's the email server IP? 10.14.21. All right. Let's see if it's working. So that's the first troubleshooting. Can I ping the email server? I can ping it from here now. Now let's see if it's working now. DNS resolve name, user email at according DNS server. So you guys troubleshoot what could go wrong in this one. Meanwhile, I'm verifying if YNA555.com works here. Okay, web browser. So I need to troubleshoot his email on the other side. So I don't have time for it. So I need to troubleshoot why his email extension is not working. So YNA55.com. It should work. It should open. Now I can give the IP address. You know what? I can just give IP address. It's not working. So what I can do is I can go here. Uh, Come on. Okay. 10 dot 21 dot sorry 14 dot 21 dot 5 4. Yeah, see it's working here. 21.4 is working here, but the other side it's let's try it. Let's ping it. If it's ping it, it should open. It's pinging, right? So why it's not opening? So that's troubleshooting, guys. You should show me the ping. On the announcement, you should be able to show me how the ping is working. Okay. It says request timeout. Let's try again. You won't say HTTPS. It's not certification. 10 dot 14 dot 21 dot. What's the website? Okay, that's working now. What else? So the emails. You guys need to troubleshoot why email is not working. I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, let's see if Harsha received. Receive. Yeah, you guys troubleshoot how you want. It's somewhere sitting in the email server. You're saying instead of in confident. Okay. You want to give your IP address, right? Okay. Give me the 10 dot 14 dot 21 dot 10 dot 14 dot 21 dot 5. Save. Compose to raghuveer.email.com. Test 742. Okay. Sending mail. SMTP authentication failure. In this time, it's SMTP failure itself. Okay. So the email is not authenticating. So I'm either entering the email address wrong. Some of these details here is wrong. You guys following? The authentication is not happening because the web server, sorry, the email server is saying saying that Logan. I think it's Logan, right? My email address. That's Logan. That's why it's not working. All right, it should work now. I mean, you can do that. You can do. Um, so let's see. It's just a matter of trying. Yeah, it received. So just make sure you're giving the right credentials, right email, and everything. So basically, the student is able to send email. So what I'm doing is file save. Okay. So what I'm doing. Can someone drop and send me a join request so that I can find the proper? There's something wrong with it. Usually, still going on? Yes, sir. Meeting is on. I cannot find the screen. Let me check on. You can take your laptop. Should be done. Yes, yes, yes.